time for another plot. So I'm going through GTA 5 this time. I'm gonna explain how the gameplay goes, and of course the plot. So I'm gonna start with the gameplay and share what in the world happened, and if you're playing whether story mode or they're online. So, GTA 5 is an action adventure game played from either a third person or first person perspective. Players complete missions, linear scenarios with set objectives to progress through the story. Outside the missions, players may freely roam the open world of San Andreas. So it's composed of the San Andreas open countryside area and its fictional Blaine County and the city of Los Santos. Which, if you might notice, if you've played the game before, looks exactly like Los Angeles, California. Which it basically is Los Angeles. The world is much larger in area than earlier entries in the series. It may be fully explored after the game's beginning without restriction, although story progress unlocks more gameplay content. When you do the story mode, the more you go across that map, that area is going to open up, and you'll be able to see it on the map. And there's a lot of action going on with gang members, police officers, or anyone in between. People can take them down using their melee attacks, using firearms or explosives to fight off enemies. They may run, jump, swim, or use vehicles to navigate the map. To accommodate the map size, the game introduces vehicle types absent in the predecessor of Grand Theft Auto 4, such as fixed-wing aircraft. In combat, auto-aim and a cover system may be used to assist against enemies. Should players take damage, their health meter will gradually regenerate to its halfway point. If you do somehow get wasted, you will respawn coming out of the many hospitals that are scattered across the map. If players commit crimes, the law enforcement may respond as indicated by a wanted meter in the heads-up display. So if you commit any crimes, you'll start seeing the stars ranging from 1 star to the dreaded 5 stars. And I've learned from playing this, 1 to 2 stars is subtle, like you just have like the normal cars after you. If you reach 3 stars, you're gonna start having helicopters after you. 4 stars, that's when and the so-called SWAT team, or as they're called, the Noose team, will start hunting you down. If you hit 5 stars, you better pray to God. So the stars will be displayed on like the top right of the screen. So once you hit the maximum of 5 stars, police, helicopters, and SWAT swarm to lethally dispatch players. Officers will search for players who leave the wanted vicinity. The meter enters a cooldown mode and eventually reset is when players are hidden from the officer's line of sight that displays on the mini map for a period of time. In the single player mode, players control 3 characters: Michael DeSanta, Trevor Phillips, and Franklin Clinton, criminals whose stories interconnect as they complete missions. Some missions are completed with only one character, and others feature two or three. Outside the missions, players may switch between characters at will by a directional compass on the heads-up display. Although this feature is restricted at certain points during the story, during missions mostly, unless you have more than one. Characters may automatically switch to complete specific objectives. A character's compass avatar will flash red if he's in danger and needs help, and flash white if he has a strategic advantage. Though players complete missions with the protagonist, the more difficult heist missions require aid from AI controlled accomplices with unique skill sets like computer hacking and driving. If an accomplice survives a successful heist, they take a cut from the cash reward and may be available for later missions with improvements to their unique skills. Some heists afford multiple strategies. In a hold-up mission, players may either stealthily subdue civilians with a incapacitating agent, or conspicuously storm the venue with guns drawn. Each character has a set of 8 skills that represent their ability in specific areas such as shooting and driving. Those skills improve through play. Each character has a skill with expertise by default. Trevor's flying skill. The 8th special skill determines proficiency in an ability that is unique to each respective character. Michael enters bullet time in combat. Franklin slows down time while driving, and Trevor deals twice as much damage to enemies while taking half as much in combat. A meter on each character's HUD depletes when an ability is being used, and regenerates when players perform skillful actions. For example, drifting in vehicles as Franklin, or performing headshots as Michael. While free roaming the whole entire map, players may engage in context-specific activities such as scuba diving or base jumping, and visit businesses such as cinemas and strip clubs. Each character has a smartphone for contacting friends, starting activities, and accessing an in-game internet. The internet lets players trade in stocks via a stock market. Players may purchase properties such as garages and businesses, upgrade the weapons and vehicles in each character's arsenal, and customize their appearance by purchasing outfits, haircuts, and tattoos. Okay, now it's plot time. So this explains the story mode. In 2004, Michael Townley, Trevor Phillips, and Brad Snyder partake in a failed robbery in Ludendorff, North Yankton, resulting in Michael being presumed dead. 9 years later, Michael lives with his family in the city of Los Santos under the alias Michael DeSanta, having made a secret agreement with Federal Investigation Bureau agent Dave Norton to stay hidden. A crosstown gangbanger, Franklin Clinton, works for a corrupt car salesman and meets Michael while attempting to fraudulently repossess his son's car. The two later become friends when Michael finds his wife sleeping with her tennis coach. He and Franklin chase the coach to a mansion while Michael heavily damages in anger. The owner of the mansion and drug lord Martin Madrazo demands compensation. Michael returns to a life of crime to obtain the money and enlists Franklin as an accomplice. With the help of Michael's old friend Lester Crest, who is a disabled hacker, they rob a jewelry store to pay off the debt. So they get that done. And meanwhile, Trevor, who lives in a old rotten trailer in the ghost town of Sandy Shores in Blaine County, hears of the heist and realizes it was Michael's work, and he's now aware that Michael is alive. Trevor had believed that the FIB killed Michael in the Ludendorff heist. Trevor does his work and he seeks out Michael and reunites with him, forcing Michael to reluctantly accept him back into his life. As time goes on, the protagonist's life spiral out of control. Michael's criminal behavior prompts his family to leave him. Well, that was after Michael nearly attacked Amanda's yoga teacher, Fabian, who was a freaking idiot. And he took drugs in the car when Jimmy was there. He ruined Tracy's life. So what did they expect? When he later becomes a movie producer, he comes into conflict with Devin Weston, a billionaire venture capitalist and corrupt raider who attempts to shut down Michael's studio. Michael thwarts his efforts and inadvertently kills his lawyer, causing Devin to vow revenge. Meanwhile, Franklin rescued his friend Lamar Davis from their friend and rival gangbanger Harold Stretch Joseph, who attempts to kill them. Concurrently, Trevor tries to consolidate his control over various black markets in Blaine County, waging war against the Lost Outlaw Motorcycle Club, Latino street gangs, rival meth dealers, the private company, military company Merriweather, and triad kingpin Wei Chang. Having broken his agreement with Dave by committing robberies again, Michael is coerced by Dave and his superior Steve Haynes to perform a series of operations alongside Franklin and Trevor to undermine the International Affairs Agency, the IAA. Under Steve's direction and with Lester's help, they attack an armored car carrying funds for the IAA and steal an experimental nerve agent from an IAA lab. As Steve comes under increasing scrutiny, he forces Michael and Franklin to erase evidence against him from the FIB servers. Michael takes the opportunity to wipe the data on his activities, destroying Steve's leverage over him. And after Michael manages to reconcile with his family by doing like the biggest apology he's ever done, apologizing to Jimmy, selling things with Amanda, and giving Tracy her dream back. And with them back, it's time to create the final heist. Breaking into the Union Depository. So, Trevor, Franklin, and Lester meet up with Michael, and they start figuring out how they're going to raid the Union Depository, getting the gold bullion reserve. However, Trevor discovers that Brad was not imprisoned as he was led to believe. He soon discovers the truth of what happened in North Yankton. Brad was killed during the heist. He was shot by Dave Norton. Then he shot Michael, who somehow survived the bullet. he was buried in the grave that was marked Michael Townley, deducing that the heist was a setup and that he was supposed to be killed in Brad's place. Trevor feels betrayed and leaves Michael for dead following a shootout with Chang's henchmen. Although Franklin rescues Michael, Trevor's anger towards the latter causes friction with the group and threatens to undermine their plans. Meanwhile, Steve attempts to arrest Michael and Dave. They become caught in a Mexican standoff between the FIB, the IAA, and Merriweather. Steve escapes while Michael and Dave are rescued by Trevor, who believes only he has the right to kill Michael. They start planning the Union Depository heist. They get all the stuff they need for it, and the heist is successful. But Franklin is afterwards approached by Steve and Dave, who contend that Trevor is a liability, and Devin, who seeks revenge on Michael. Franklin has three options when he's approached by Devin at his house. He's given some kill options. Kill Trevor, kill Michael, or attempt to save both in a suicide mission. Should Franklin choose to kill either Michael or Trevor, his relationship with the other ceases or becomes strained, and he returns to his old life. Otherwise, the trio will be aided by Lamar and Lester, withstand an onslaught from the FIB and Merriweather before going on to kill Chang, Stretch, Steve, and Devin. Michael and Trevor reconcile, and the three protagonists cease working together, but remain friends. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. Obviously, Michael is a dad who's trying to impress his family. I'll say at first, he did an awful job. I mean, he smashed his son's television, and because he thought that his son was talking smack to him. He ruined his daughter's life 2 times, but it redeemed for the second one and to come back. And Trevor is feared by everyone in Sandy Shores, as probably the whole town knows that Trevor is a beast. And Franklin is just someone trying to make paper and not get it roped into the same trouble that his friend Lamar Davis gave him back in the hood. Alright, that was the gameplay and plot of GTA 5. Thanks for watching, and peace out.